Hey everybody, thank you for joining me today. So today's video, we're going to continue using the Vicki Boutin 49 and Market collection, which is Willow Grove. Actually, it's Courtesies. Courtesies in Willow Grove? Yeah. And I've gone through and just because I hadn't really looked at this collection, I realized it came out right before our crop that we had in October. But I had never really seen the papers. So this is just me really quick, kind of just going through them and trying to figure out which one did I want to use for the layout we're going to be working on today. And I realized, okay, I kind of like this background. Yeah. And then I'm going to grab one of the solids to go with it. You'll see what I mean in a second. There's some really pretty papers in here. Some like they've done in the past where you can do a double page. I always suggest with 49 and Market until they start doing it, buy you 2 packets because the only having one of each is such a bummer. And what I don't think they realize is put a second page in it. Make it a little bit more. We'll pay for it. There are those of us who want 2 pages. But I digress. So on this one, I went through the solids trying to figure out if I wanted to put for my background. Now the paper itself already has a blue tint. So I thought, let's go with more the peachy colored solid. So that's what I pulled out. And then we're going to put this to the side. And so we're going to use the peachy color for the base of our template that we're going to be using. And I thought this one was fun. It's a 4x4 at the top, and then it's 4 2x2s. And like I said previously, I like using the backing of the packaging for the to create my base. So what I do is I line everything up, and then I only have to trace 2 sides. I pick the one edge, and then I just do a little L, and then I cut it out of the paper. And this has really been working really well instead of trying to measure and because even if it's like I cut on the side of error, it's usually just a little bit too wide. And then I laid the template on it and I saw it was too long. I grabbed my pencil, drew another line and trimmed it, and it was perfect. You know what I mean? So it's like I don't mind. I don't mind doing it that way. It just makes it a lot easier. So now this, my plan is to put here. I was going to use that the branding strips, but I decided I'm not going to use those. So we're going to go ahead and just trim those off and then put them. I have a little container. Thanks to, I don't know if you guys follow Ginger on YouTube. She has a Pringles container that she keeps all her strips in, and then she makes like backgrounds with them. I'm not quite there yet to where I have enough to do a backgrounds, but I'm building. And then I grabbed some of my my basil marshmallow. I had a small piece, and what I did was I cut a 4x4, and then I'm cutting 2x2 mats, and I'm using just the plain white. And my photos I trimmed down to be 3 3/4 by 3 3/4, so I would have a nice border on the square. And on the 2x2s, I made them 1 3/4 by 1 3/4. So yeah, the 2x2 photos, they're already tiny, so it was a little maneuvering trying to get it to fit the mats. Now for the template, I used my Pixie spray to give it a little bit of tackiness, so we can put it down and it would stay in place basically. And then we're going to go ahead and start attaching all of our photos and stuff. Now you could put the photo inside here and just mat it right to your bottom paper if you wanted to, but I tend to like them matted. I think it gives it more of a finished look to me. It's hard to explain. Sometimes you want it without the matte, you know what I mean? But in this particular instance, I really was enjoying the matte papers. And so the top paper or picture I'm doing is the photo that we used for our cropped challenge. And then I had 4 selfies that I took with Sarah, our DT member, Jessica, Tisa, and then me and Carrie. She was in her pinata outfit, and we were making a crazy face. So I have 2 with crazy faces and 2 with regular faces. And I cut a majority of my face off on the bottom one, but it's still cute. It's just good times. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to explain. But that was my thinking, was that, it's from the crop weekend, showing that you can do layouts about the crop without using necessarily like crafty oriented papers, even though those are fun. But you can use it with this. It was in the fall, it was in October. So this type of papers work well. And then we put that inside. And then once you have the photos on, you just peel off your template. And there you have this wonderful grid piece that you then can start basically building your layout from, right? So as I'm starting to look through some things, I'm trying to think, what am I going to do? I know I want maybe like a, what do they call it? I was about to say bundle. That's not it. The name just went. 3 different collages? No, that's not the word. It's going to come to me. We'll move on. But anyway, I wanted a little bit of a focal spot down on the bottom right. I knew that. But I wasn't sure what I was going to use to get there. So right now I'm going through all the chipboard pieces, just trying to find a title. I'm thinking like, what am I going to use for a title? But then I find this Here For It, because I'm totally here for it. Hanging out with these ladies, it was one of the best times I've had in quite a few years. And I just feel like, I wanted to talk about that, you know what I mean? And then I found Always, so I'm here for it, Always, and Smile. So because I felt like I was cheesy grinning the entire weekend. So that was perfect. And then I'm gonna put the rest of these up, and I leave out 5 stars. And then I'm going to pull out another packet. So I'm pretty much done with these. And you get a lot of stuff in these packages. I don't know. Like, I will never use it all. I don't know. I don't know how people use it all. I'm like, what do you do? Just do a whole like background with just chipboard? I don't know. Sorry, I digress. So then I grab, they have the ephemera pieces. They have, because they have their, what's it called? Not die cuts, the laser pieces. Well, I didn't pull those out for this one. I just wanted to play with these packages, and, yeah. So the one that I'm playing with now has more like regular elements. So it's not like a lot of flowers and stuff like that. Like there's journal bits, there's little lace pieces that you can layer, these little like ink swatch size pieces, some tickets, stuff like that. And then I'm just putting up some of the stuff actually while I do this, but we're just pulling out some things, because I'm just not sure exactly what all I want to use, I know I want to use that clip piece, a tab, and then they usually always have some type of words in here as well, so I go to use those too, finding things that I may want to use. And sometimes it's easier to just pull out a little bit of everything and then go, nah, I don't want to use that. I'm going to put that up. You know what I mean? Whereas a lot of times if you're trying to, what am I trying to say? Even if I don't think I'll use it, sometimes I'll pull it anyway. Because if it's something about it like triggered or made me think, ooh, well, maybe pull it out, because you don't know. You never know exactly how you're going to want to use it. Okay. And see, some of these books, I was thinking about using it. So like our photo little cluster there could look like it's sitting on top of a book. And we're going to go through quite a few different options with that. And I'm looking at, how do I use this with the loopity loop without covering a photo? I can't. So you know what I did? I cut the little loop. It's okay. It'll be all right. But we can use that camera. So I'm thinking I'm going to do capture with the camera down here. I'm going to put the tickets and the ink swatch down there. So it brings in a little bit of that pink down there. I'm going to use this tab on the left. And then this is the part where I'm like, I don't know that I want to use I want the books, but I don't want the books. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm liking it, but I'm not liking it. And then I have the leaf, which was super cool. And I think I'm going to use the arrow, but I'm not sure if it's going to be there. I was like, nah, that seems random to put it at the top. It ain't looking like nothing. And then I saw a couple of flower pieces that I thought, oh, we could add that to our little cluster. Cluster! There it is. Wow. That took a minute. All right. And then I decided to put the clip up there. And actually, now looking back at it, I could have left the books. But at that point, I was like, you know what? I don't like it. Just move it down. Just move it down. It'll be all right. We'll put a couple of stars here and there, and then that's the layout. Like that, and sometimes that's it. That's it. That's all I could do. You know what I mean? I felt like anything else would have been too much, even though I love the way that now looking at the screen as I'm talking to you guys, I'm like, oh, I could have left those books. They were kind of cute there. Oh, well. There's always another layout, right? There's always another layout that we can use those for. And I think I may use it on one because there's a challenge that you have to use like a book title. And it turns out that there is at least a book with the title Birds of a Feather. And I think that's what I'm going to do a title for. But I'm going to scrap our crop and call it Birds of a Feather because we all stick together. You know what I mean? I thought that would be super cute. And then it would go towards Amy's challenge for using a book title. Okay, so now we're gluing down our stars. And these stars are so tiny. So tiny. But they're a chipboard. So they do have a little dimension. And I'm going to go ahead and put my arrow down first so I know how far I want to go. And then I'm going to create the cluster with the leaf and the flower there. And I'm just making sure I kind of got the right sizing of everything, where I want everything to kind of lay. I left that star there so I know where. Well, and then I moved it. But I was doing it because I was like, I want to make sure I put it in the same spot. And I basically did. Which I was lucky. Because sometimes, you guys know, it can very easily move without you trying. So we're going ahead and glue these down. And then our little ink swatch. And then we can put I'm going to put capture first. So that way I have a place to put the camera. And know that I'm not going to cover up the entire ink swatch because I can set that off to the right. And then we're just going to put our glass block down. at least to come sit on top of the camera. And then we'll put down our last little star. And then really, that's the layout. I mean, it was super quick to put together. Now I'm just going to cover the photos as best I can. I'm going to first hit it with the gold. And then I'm going to grab the black soot. Because of the black details and all the ephemera and stuff, black soot is perfect. And even though it's not fully colored the paper, I am going to use white as well. It's going to show up on those black elements really well. And when you look at the actual layout, like I have it in front of me, you can see the white splatters even on the pattern paper. Now what I could have done was use the Dina Wakley white. That one is it has a shine to it. So if you are using white splatters and it's on like white paper and you want it to stand out more, use that one because it has more of a shine. Just a little tip there. And I just cleaned down the splatters real quick, and there is our layout, y'all. I love, this one, it took how do I explain it? It took me 45 minutes to make, but I think it's because in the beginning, going through the papers and the ephemera pieces and stuff, I wasn't rushing. You know what I mean? I was looking through, trying to see everything, and that's probably what took the longest. But all in all, actually gluing and putting together, this came together super quick. And that's, I think, what I love about the templates. It just takes away a lot of guessing. You have an exact area for your photos, and then you just decorate around it as you wish. And I like that. I like that a lot. Thank you guys for joining me today. I hope you have a great Friday. If you haven't already, consider subscribing and hitting that thumbs up. And if you have any questions, just leave them down below. And I will definitely take a look at them over the weekend. All right, you guys, have a great one, and I'll see you with our next video.